In this video, I want to cover a few tools that will enable collaboration, and I'm going to do this from a math perspective, but bear in mind these tools do not change, and the math examples that I give, you can modify them and use them in any subject area. So the first tool I want to talk about is discussions. And with discussions, we want to encourage group problem solving. We want students to learn to collaborate and build a rapport among the class. And the best way for a math class, the best way to learn about math is to talk about math. But getting student buy-in on discussion boards in a math class is a very difficult task. So I have provided some examples here of discussion forums that you could use in a math class. And like I said earlier, they can be tweaked to use in other subjects. But before I kind of go over those, I want to go over the key components of effective online discussions. And that's your course design strategy, guidelines and expectations. Are your topics and questions well constructed? You need to be a skilled facilitator or moderator. And assessment. What are the rubrics? How are they going to be assessed? So, looking at the screen, of course, you've got your question and answer forum. I've noticed in some math courses, there's multiple Q&As based on topic, based on units of study. I feel you only need to have one Q&A forum. Then you need the introduction forum. This is one of the first places that you will start to build your online community. And I've noticed that instructors who do not grade the introduction forum, some of your students will not participate. And like I said earlier, this is key to beginning to build your online community. So assign points, everyone participates. As an instructor, you make the first post, introducing yourself to the class, modeling what you need them to do. Then I have some other discussion questions, and one of them, I've titled it Lesson 1 Integers. In my math class, based on the topic of study, I will have the students go through and pick an even number problem that they know that they can solve and they know it well. And I always stress that please post a problem someone else hasn't done. And one way I've learned to get around having to put that statement in is there under forum settings, it defaults to the standard view. But if you put a check mark in participants must create a thread in order to view other threads, then I don't need that sentence at all. And when you're a student, it's always harder for the first student to create a new thread, to answer the question. They don't have anyone else to look back on. Everyone else can look at the previous student's posts. So to give everyone the same chance, equal playing field, from here on out, I'm going to pick this choice to where everyone has to post and answer the question before they can see anything else. So therefore, that removes the option of them picking a different problem as opposed to someone else. Then you have the problem of the week. With problem of the week, you can make this worth some extra credit. Put a brain teaser up to get the students thinking about the topic at hand for the week, but only the first student with the correct answer gets extra credit. But this could get the conversation going about your week's topic. And then the group study guide, I'll come back to this forum when we talk about groups, which will be next. But after they do their group projects, they will come and post their results in this group or in this discussion forum. So let's go to groups next. As you can see, I have the pre-algebra study guide group. You will create, groups of 4 or 5 students. And what I have them do is they work collaboratively together and separate. With this project, first of all, they divide and conquer. They're supposed to come up with a study guide. They're supposed to come up with a small test, 15 to 20 questions, and then a little solutions manual for that test. So they're dividing and conquering with each unit, and I have 4 math units. With each unit, they're going out and dividing up the project. You're in charge of this chapter, you're working on the study guide, or you're on this chapter and you're coming up with some test questions. So they're all on their own working, but then they come back and work together to create, the study guide document, the test, and the solution manual, and make everything flow. The same font, the same size, color, boldness. They work together. And then at the end of each unit, I'm checking their work as they go, because they're going to get a group grade for this. And then maybe 2 weeks before the end of the semester, once I've checked everything over and it looks good, then they pick one person to post their information to the study guide discussion forum. So at the end of the semester, there are multiple study guides, multiple practice tests, and solution manuals for the kids to use. And with small groups, students learn more deeply when they're given the opportunity to communicate, collaborate, and share with each other. So, like I said, they're working a little bit independently, but then they come back and they're working together. So let's move on to Wiki, a class Wiki, because that is also similar to group work, but working in small groups, you've got 4 or 5 people in your group. A class Wiki is open to all, and with the Wiki, everyone contributes 2 items from each unit or lesson as you go throughout the course. And what this type of tool helps with is, as an instructor, you're going and you usually come up with all the supplemental tools, supplemental resources for them. This way, they go out and they find a video, they find an article, they find a document, image that goes with what you're learning. And they can't just attach what they found. They need to write and explain how that ties in to the topic at hand. So it almost helps them, it reinforces their learning, because not only do they have to understand what math they're learning, but then they've got to understand it so that they can go out and find something similar that would be of benefit to the others. Like if you're learning the quadratic equation, there is a song that you can sing the formula to the tune of Pop Goes the Weasel. Since my high school math teacher told me that, I still have that song and that formula stuck in my head. Or order of operations, PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So they need to find resources that will help reinforce the learning. Another item that you can do, or another tool you can use, is journals. And all those other tools we've talked about is getting the students working with each other. This is just between the student and you and the instructor. And you can pick whatever you want. Some of the journal topics I've thought of is, why are you taking this course? And we'll open this one up. Why did you sign up for an online math course versus seated? What obstacles may you encounter? What's your plan for overcoming these obstacles? good study habits, or your first exam. Have them reflect what they're feeling about the upcoming first exam, and then have another journal where they reflect on the outcome, how they did on the test, how has maybe their anxieties subsided. So journaling is great. I know in our early childhood department, when they go out and do their field work, when they go out and observe the students, sometimes they get free writing, sometimes the instructors have specific writing prompts that go along with the topics that they're learning at that point in time. One of the last things I want to talk about is Blackboard Collaborate, and I'm going to go into my lessons, and I've got a couple of sessions here. And with Blackboard Collaborate, we can't really say that they have to attend your session. You can have the session at various times, various days, and you tell the students, if you can't make it, that's okay, I'll record it. You can have a Collaborate session where it's your virtual office hour. You tell the students, I'm going to be here at this link, this day and time. Please talk to me, make an appointment, and I can meet you one-on-one, and we can discuss how you're doing in class. I like to use it as a test review. So I tell my students, hey, on this day at this time, I'm going to be in this link. Come join me if you have questions about the upcoming exam. Now, sometimes I have students show up and I answer their questions. Sometimes I don't. If I don't have students that show up, I always have a prepared list of math problems and topics, and I do like a 30-40 minute review, and I record it, and then I post the link in the announcements area. I've noticed students who attend live or watch the link or watch the recording tend to do a little bit better on their exams. So with journals, with Blackboard Collaborate, wikis, small groups, discussions, as OTC Online, we don't really say you have to have X number of discussions, you have to have X number of group projects or wikis or journals. As long as your students are collaborating, as long as they're engaged and they're helping one another and they're engaged in collaborating with you, the instructor, that's the main key. We want students engaged, which will help their learning. I hope these tools and examples gave you all some ideas. If you have a different idea but don't know which tool to use, please give OTC Online a call, an email. We're glad to work with you one-on-one. You give us the idea and we can tell you what tool will be the best route to go. Items I didn't cover in this video: how to use social media, how to use Facebook, different icebreaker activities other than the regular discussion forum. Again, if you need any assistance with the tools, if you have any ideas and need assistance, please don't hesitate to contact us at online@otc.edu. Thank you.